Grand Rising. Come on in. Come on in. Put your nines up when you get in the building. Who's my first nine? Big day today. Big day. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Come on out. Get your sun gaze on while you can. Peace, Chris. Grand Rising. Peace. Put your nines up. Bobby. Peace. Peace. Jay, what up? Peace, peace. All right, let's talk about this solar eclipse. Peace, Kalo. Today's the day. Today's the day. Okay, when you're dealing with the solar eclipse, specifically where we are, location where we live, there's some things that you're going to want to keep into consideration. You guys know I'm the #1 advocate of sun gazing, getting out and getting your download, right? You want to do that in the early morning, like now. Actually, the time's almost up, so if you haven't gotten out yet to get your sun gaze on, now's the time to try and get some of that in. If you want to meditate, you can do that at that time. That's when I normally do my morning reflections. But when you're dealing with a solar eclipse in the northern hemisphere where I live, you can find the time online where it's going to happen on where you live. When you're dealing with a solar eclipse, that is not a time to sun gaze. Okay? That is not the time to sun gaze. That is a time for you to meditate, to go into meditation, right? But you don't want to stare directly into a solar eclipse. Reason being is because when Rahu or when Ketu passes by Rahu, it's going to cause a bend of light to happen when we're dealing with the sun. So it's going to be brighter in certain areas than it normally wouldn't be. So staring directly into it could put you in a dangerous position as far as visually when you're dealing with hot spots and things of that nature that could happen when you're staring directly into it. So this is just a warning to my followers who do follow me regularly, and we do sun gaze on a regular basis. That time is almost up. Within like the next 10 minutes, your sun gaze should be finished. And around 2:45, 2:44 in the northern hemisphere is when the eclipse will happen. The full solar eclipse is going to happen, a total eclipse, and you don't want to be sun gazing during that time. But meditation is highly recommended. Why? Okay, when you're dealing with a total solar eclipse, you're dealing with 3 entities. Geb, which is the earth. You're dealing with Tahuti, which represents the moon. And you're dealing with Atun or Ra, which represents the sun. Atun Ra. And at this point, you're going to see a merger between the moon or wisdom and Ra. Okay? And this is a significant moment because this is when you're going to see 2 powers of the Most High. And when we talk about Most High, we're not talking about gods. We're talking about the Most High celestial bodies, which is the sun, the moon, the stars. That's where that term comes from. When you say Most High, you're talking about the sun, the moon, and the stars. You're going to see Ra or Rahu and Ketu or Jehuti / wisdom. You're going to see them merger together for 7 minutes. Okay? So when you're dealing with, you're dealing with the number 7, you're dealing with a number of completion, meaning something has just completed, right? So for 7 minutes, you're going to see Rahu and Ketu converse with one another, right? They're going to pass by one another. So what you're witnessing is a shift, right? A shift in wisdom, and we on Earth here are affected by that wisdom. We are affected by lunar signals as much as we are affected by solar signals, right? So when you're affected by lunar, let's put it this way. If you're getting too much moon energy, I need you to understand this. When you're getting too much moon energy, they call you a lunar tick. You understand? You're called a lunatic. Okay? So what's going to happen is you're going to see a demographic of people start acting irrationally than they normally would because of this event. And mark my words, you're going to see it happen and manifest in your universe, right? I'm not going to call any names of what people are going to act like that, but you can probably figure it out. You're going to see a lot of lunatic moves happening during this transitional time, because it's a transitional time where the people that are ran by lunar energy are now taking over the people that are ran by the sun for 7 straight minutes of completion, right? So during that time, it's going to be an extra charge that they're going to have, or an extra incentive to act like lunar ticks. Now, you just watch this happen. So during this time, it's important that you don't absorb that energy. You don't want to take in that energy, okay, on a visual plane, okay? Because we know how the sun affects us and the downloads that we get from the sun when we do our sun gazing in the morning. So now you're dealing with the reverse effect, right? You're dealing with an absorbent energy that takes that from you. So you don't want to sun gaze. You're dealing with an opposite energy during that time. Okay, and this is the part that people can't get into because they don't sun gaze regularly. They're not gonna even know the effects. They just look at it as pretty. Oh, it's so nice. No, you don't want to be sun gazing during that time. That is an energy where they're going to be absorbing or taking energy from you. Those of you who have been following this practice regularly will understand, and you will know the difference. Okay, lunar energy is an absorbent energy. The sun energy is an energy that gives off. It's like a proton energy. Lunar energy is absorbent. And this is why I be telling y'all the moon is translucent. It's not actually a fixture. It's a translucent energy. So you're going to see that translucent energy actually pull from the sun. When you're dealing with Tibet, when you're dealing with India, the places that the Africans first migrated, they'll tell you about eclipses, and they'll tell you about Rahu and Ketu. Okay? And Rahu gets swallowed up by Ketu. Right, Ra representing the sun, and it gets swallowed up at some point, right? This and Ketu representing the moon and the stars, right? Look up these terms and you'll see what I'm talking about, and they'll tell you how these certain bodies, they cross one another and they get swallowed up, and it's not an event that's a good event. It's only a good to the peoples who aren't charged by the sun. And we are sun beings. We are solar beings. So we live by the sun. When you're dealing with Kemet, that wasn't a time for everybody to be celebrating. That was a time when everybody said that the Most High was upset at us, or the Most High has been weakened during that time. So you want to make sure that you're not going out trying to absorb that type of energy, because that energy is not conducive to you. When we deal, I always give y'all energies, positive, neutral, and negative energies, and I tell you how this works. We're dealing with magnets here, right? So we're dealing with now two electromagnetic forces that are coursing each other's paths, right? Coursing each other's path, and you are you're directly affected by that because you live on Geb. You are the lower part of that. So you got to respect the Most High. You are not above. You're not up there in the celestial bodies. You're affected by that directly, that by this communication and by this relationship between the two, right? So now you have wisdom and you have the sun meeting on one accord. Put it this way. It's like the two. Like if you want to deal with the word gods, imagine if two gods is in the room having a conversation and you just bust into the room. Right? It's not going to be a good look for you when they're having a private conversation. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get chastised. So I advise you not to do sun gazing during that time. I advise you not to try and take in any of that total eclipse energy. That people are running rampant, they're trying to promote it. Listen, don't take that energy, man. Stick with what I've been telling y'all. Stick with sun gazing early in the early morning. Absorb that positive proton sun energy. Leave that other lunar energy alone. Okay, you're going to get that charge. Remember, when you're dealing with lunar energy is while you're sleeping, right? The moon is while you're sleeping. That's why I said if you're going to deal with that lunar energy, you better be meditating, not staring directly into it. The solar energy is what you stare directly into it. When you're dealing with lunar energy, you want to go off and you want to go and meditate. If you're going to be outside, you need to be in meditation, you need to be in chant, you need to be doing what you need to do, to connect with the lunar energy, and that lunar energy affects the subconscious just as much as the solar energy, but you want to take it in through the eye gate. Okay, you want to take it in directly through the conscious. So I advise y'all to be in meditation during that time. If you have been fasting, if you've been doing what you need to do as far as fasting, and you've been energizing your chakras, your tree of life, that would be a good time to try to ascend, during that level. It's going to strengthen you at that time. If you're in meditation, it's going to take you to a whole nother level, a whole nother plateau, and you might see some things about yourself revealed about yourself, from the lunar side, that you haven't seen before, especially for our women. Our women run off of lunar cycles. So I highly advise that the women do not mess with this energy right now, because it's not going to be good for you and your emotions, your mood swings. If you're pregnant, definitely don't be out there, when you're dealing with this type of energy, because y'all run off of the moon cycle, so it will affect you indefinitely. And the majority of the people on my timeline, the people on my friends list and my followers, the majority of y'all are black women, and I don't want to see y'all affected like this in a negative way. This is a good time for them to try and capitalize on you and taking control of your mindset and your thoughts and your processes. So don't go out there absorbing that type of energy, because it's going to be easy for you to feed into it when they start picking at you, because it's going to come. You're going to see the lunatics out during this time. Okay, so don't mess with the lunatics. Stay away from the lunatics. So it's just a solar eclipse warning, a total eclipse warning for my sun gazers. This is not for you. This is not for you. This is not for us. This is not for the Aboriginal, the original people here on this planet. This is a conversing of the Most High deities, the Rahu, or what we call, or Ketu, which is the moon and the stars. Geb is affected by it, which is us. The sun, Ra, and Tahuti are going to have their discussion today on wisdom, and you're going to see a transition. You're going to see a lot more people being smarter about how they move. Those who take this into consideration, you're gonna see a download tomorrow morning. That download is going to be crazy. So I advise you tomorrow morning to be ready to sun gaze early in the morning, because that download is going to be the craziest that it's ever been, because they're going to be the closest. You know what I'm saying? So that wisdom that you're going to download is going to be phenomenal. We dealing with astrological bodies here, celestial bodies. This is all in a matter of timing. So most of y'all who have been following this procedure that I've been giving y'all can pretty much understand what's going on. You get the gist of it, as far as how you are receiving knowledge on a daily basis in the morning. So, you know, I highly advise that today you do not sun gaze towards the afternoon. Don't deal with that energy, that divine energy. Deal with it in the morning, and you're going to receive a special download in the morning. I promise you. All right. And oh man, Matthew, you over here blowing it up, man. I try not to put it out there, man. You out here blowing them up. You know what I mean? I'm just telling. Listen, it's just not for you, man. This ain't the energy for you. You know, it's for some other people. It ain't for you. So listen, I love y'all. Like, share, comment. If you haven't already, click follow. Peace. Ashe. Y'all have a good day.